And a one fish, two fish. And a one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. I think we're good. And a red fish, blue fish. I think we're good. All right, that's looking fine. All right, let's just double check YouTube. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube. Let's just double check YouTube. Hello, Twitch. Hello, YouTube. Hello, Charles. YouTube. How are you doing today? I hope you're feeling well. I don't know if your back's getting any better or not. Hopefully you can look into that. What are we doing? I don't know if there's anybody here, but we're going to shout out Charles because it makes a noise. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right, I am working on the fringed outfit today. I have made some nice progress on it, actually. We are in the texturing stage, mostly. And I still have to do the special morphs. I don't know if we'll do any of those on stream. Also, I got to finish up that happy birthday. Well, happy birthday, dude. It's about frickin' time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charles. Happy birthday to you. Here, we're going to do that. Happy Saturday, working on stuff for Dad's Studio. We're going to change the title. Happy birthday, Charles. We'll do that. If I can remember how this works. I'll do it over on, I can do it on the Twitch. We can do it on the Twitch. I'm not sure. It's a little more complicated for YouTube ski. No, wait, I do it over here. I do it in OBS. There we go. I'm going to do it. Happy B-Day, because I'm going to abbreviate. I might run out of letters. Yes, Bond. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Let's try that. Let's put that over there. Control D. Done. I don't know if that'll update. We'll see if we... It says it updated, so it should be on the Twitch. I'm gonna let me see if I can change the YouTube too. We'll do that. Copy that. Let me go over here to my YouTube. Let me go over here to my studio. I should be live streaming. There it is. I'm gonna dismiss that. I'm gonna come over here to... I should be running live. Can I edit the title while I'm running live? No, YouTube's a butt. I'm going to have to take care of that later. I'm going to have to remember to do that for the stream tonight. Anyhow, happy birthday. I hope you're having a good birthday, man. Eat the cake. Drink the ice cream. Anywho, what are we doing today? This. I'm working on this. I need to clean up the boots. Also, I should probably finish the holiday vignette set. I think we're almost done with that, but I don't know. I think at 2 o'clock we'll switch over and take a look at that. In the meantime, I'm working on the textures for this. I wanted to clean up the boots, though. I think the boots are a little janky on the G8 version still. So I'm going to take a minute here to clean those up. Then we're going to pop back over. We've got textures going over in Substance Painter. It's all kind of set up for suede. I want to kind of do a Mystic version, so I'm going to take that arcane lettering that I used on the Ardent outfit and run it along the trim here and here, and along the top trim as well. And my colors are going to be, we need black and white because we always do black and white. I'm going to do this brown suede. Then I think we're going to do the Mystic versions. We'll have red, green, and blue. I think we'll do those. So that's the way we're heading with these. And I'm going to do a couple of things. When we start doing the material files, I'm going to combine the boots with the rest of the outfit. Also, the outfit's in one part right now. We'll have to split that up. So we might do that at 3 o'clock. We'll come from 2 to 3. I might work on Halliday's vignette, and then we can maybe come back and finish this up a bit more. That's the plan for today. Anyhow, I want to fix the boots. The boots have got a little jankiness in the back, so I'm going to smooth those out. So first things first, let's select the boots. Let's make sure we are working at base resolution. I don't have smoothing on those. I'm going to make sure we don't have any D-force on. We're going to export that out, and I'm going to call this boot J8F. I may have already done that. I don't know. I did not. Okay. We're going to use this in Blender to clean it up a little bit. I should probably reset the pose. We'll do that, and then we'll re-export the boot. There we go. G8F. We'll save that. That means we're going to have to launch Blender. Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to take that. We're going to launch Blender. We're currently using the 5.0. At least that's the one I think I'm launching right now. 5.00. There's probably a new one because it's been a couple of weeks at least since I've loaded this one up. I'm going to cancel that. All right. Let's take a look at what the boots. I noticed this later on that the backs of them looked a little janky after I started getting them in here. So let's do an import. Let's go look for Frontier outfit. Where am I? I'm in the template folder. So let's come up to the whip folder, and we are looking for that one right there we just exported. So what I'm going to do is hide the fringe. And also we're going to load in a Genesis 8. Let's do that first. Let's get a Genesis 8 in here, just so I can make sure that we're going to fit. Oh, and I got a little bit of poke through on that anyhow, so this did need a little updating anywho. See, I got a little bit of jankiness right there. We're going to smooth that out as well. But first things first, I'm going to smooth the back of the boot. Let's select that, go into edit mode. Let's switch over to faces, come to materials. I have fringe 1. I'm going to select that. Fringe 2, or fringe 1 and fringe 2. We're going to select those. Hide them. Now you can see that jankiness I'm talking about. It got a little wonky. I'm just going to smooth that out. Also, we're going to fix that little poke through there. We're going to just do that with some sculpting. Let's do the tools. And you know what? I do want to see wireframe because I want to line these up a little bit better. I'm going to come over here. We're going to adjust that strength to be pretty low. Also, I'm going to tweak the smoothing to lower that. Make my brush a little bit larger. I got smoothing turned on. Let's do this. So we're going to pull that out. And you know what? I forgot to turn symmetry on. We should do that. That'll save a little bit of time. All right, so I'm just going to pull that out a little bit. Then we're going to switch over to smooth. And I'm just going to viciously smooth that out. That's okay. That's okay. I'm expecting it to do that. It's fine. It's fine. Let me see if I can remember how to navigate in Blender. We're going to pull that back out in just a second. So the smoothing is helping straightening things up. And then I can just kind of pull all of this back out a little. And that goes a long way to cleaning up that wonkiness. And my mirroring is on, so we're doing well there. It's probably going to be okay. And I think that's basically the fix I wanted to do. So I got a little bit of so pull out a little bit more on the heel. Should be good. So I think this is a copacetic. Am I a little, got a little wonkiness over here. We'll fix that. My toes could probably use a little bit of loving. I'm still in the, I'm in the wrong tool. Let's see if we can smooth that just nope. We're totally not going to touch that with the smooth. I'm going to try to manually smooth that out. Do I get a little bit of pokey through on there? I kind of do, don't I? I should probably pull this all down. So I think I'm done what I can do with the sculpting. So let's switch back to, nope. Where's my thing? I can't see the thing anymore that, oops. If I tab, there we go. Oh, there it is. I can see it now. All this garbage, I just have a hard time seeing that stuff up there in the corner. All right, object mode. We're going to go into edit mode and we're going to pull everything down just a hair. And I think I'm going to actually do that posed. So we're gonna clean this up a little bit. I think this is good enough for what I want to do here. So we're going to export this out, update the geometry with this. We'll use the DAZ modifier, or my DAZ preset, which basically, this is the main thing about the DAZ preset, selection only. We're going to come back over here, and I'm going to overwrite that. Actually, you know what? I am going to fix this wonkiness in the fringe first, and then we'll export it out. Alt-H brings everything back. And I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to see if I can use symmetry with this. Is it tools, options, mirror, topology? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to edge mode, and I'm going to like come from here to here, and we'll just G stretch that. And did that go to the other side? That did not. That's fine. I'm using the G stretch just to straighten those out. That's probably good enough. All right, let's export that out. All right, let's update our model with this. Let's see how you, am I actually seeing the feet popping through the bottom? I am, aren't I? You're going to tweak that a bit. I'm going to do another round here. I want to pose the feet, and then we'll make some more adjustments. But let's just update this with what we just did, just the vertex position. With that right there. Accept that. Does that look good? That looks good. Okay, you saw it move just a little bit, and our little wonkiness went away, so that's good. Okay, so now I'm going to pose. I'm also going to pose the legs. So she's in a standing straight position. And that's just a little side to side on the thighs. Gets those in. And I'm going to export these out again and tweak it so this is a little cleaner in the default pose. See, I got all sorts of little wonkiness on this, don't I? Anywho, take the boots, export the boots. I'm just going to keep using this one right here as a kind of a working object. Back over in here, we can delete that. I don't need you anymore. You know what? I do need a copy of the Genesis 8 though. G8 foot post, G8 F boot posed. I don't care about the resolution on that. I'm just using it as kind of a mannequin. All right, we're going to do a couple of imports from here. I'm going to say date modified so that I get the stuff that I just did at the top. So there's that. That would not make a good morph target, but we don't need it for a morph target. And then there's this. So I just want that so I can make sure I'm just cleaning up the shape of the boots a little bit. I think I'm going to flatten this up. I got a lot of jankiness in here, don't I? I might be better off getting the G9 in here, reshaping that and using it. We'll try that. I think my G9 had a corrected shape. It might be a little easier than trying to clean all of this up. I guess I can try to clean this up. No, I'm going to try to pull in the original shape. This is actually a little jankier than I like. So let's go. I'm going to load a G9 in here. Which means that straightening I did on the back of the boot, I really didn't need to do because we're just going to overwrite that. All right, let's go get because I've already cleaned up the G9 boots. So let's see how that's looking. I'm going to pose G9, put the boots on, and then I'm going to export these boots, and then we're going to kind of just fit them on, kind of line them up with the G8, and hopefully, I would just want to double. We're going to export these boots out and make sure that they will load in on the G8 version. Otherwise, I have to do some other stupid rigging tricks or something. There are those. So we do want to take that resolution to base. And I do want to export that out. And I'm just going to overwrite this thing here that says boot G9. Since I don't really need that anymore. Okay, and then just as a sanity check, we're going to load that in as a morph target on the 8 just to make sure we're good. Just to save me time if it isn't. There we go. Looks good. Looks good. All right, so I can make changes to the one we just exported and use that to update the Genesis 8 version. Excellent. All right, so let's import that. What did I just do? I clicked on the wrong thing. Let's go back to here. Let's import that G9 boot. And then I'm just going to kind of get it to line up with the G8 boot. Because it's a lot cleaner. So let's hide that I do want to bring this top up. Well, let's hide the G8 boot for right now. We'll just kind of get this fitted a little bit better. And I'm going to try something. I'm going to see if I can get away with symmetry on this. If I delete all of that, we put a mirror modifier on here. Generate mirror. Let's make sure we're flipping those UVs. I'm going to just do a quick experiment here and just see if this works. Export that over this. I'm going to say V2. And then we're just going to see if this loads in nicely as a morph target before I spend too much time. Right there. Accept. That worked. Okay, let's just make sure it's working. Let's dial it in and see it change the shape. Excellent. Okay, so I can go ahead and I can get away with using the mirror modifier here and get this to refit that a little bit better. So tab in, select all. Let's just GX, pull you over a little bit like so. it has to come GY, then nope, G. Where am I? I fat fingered something. GZ, right about in there. Bluxosaurus Rex. Oh, you changed your name from Permafried Wookie? Oh, ew. No longer the Permafried Rexy. We're now trolling Blux with a username. I get it. Everybody check out our good friend Bluxosaurus Rex. Has been gaming. I saw you were gaming last night, but I think I popped over to somebody else's stream. Bluxosaurus Rex, there we go. Yeah. And also check out DJ Stulu, which I can't spell because I can't remember if you have weird underscores and things in your name or not. Because that's the way people roll sometimes. G X. I'm gonna just move this a little over this way. At DJ Stulu. All right, it's just the same. No underscores. Got it. DJ Stulu. Did that work? I think so. There we go. That looks proper. Now we've got a nice. Did that wrap all the way around weirdly? It kind of did, didn't it? It's fine. It's fine. Let's do a little bit of that. Let's GX and just kind of do this a little bit. And then we're just going to pull this out a little bit. Then we're just going to pull that out a little bit. That's looking good. And then we're just going to fix this heel. The yellowish orange T-Rex is the Kraft Cheezosaurus Rex from the 90s. Oh, is that what it is? I can't remember the 90s. Are you kidding? I would blame all the drugs I did in the 60s, but I wasn't actually doing drugs in the 60s. I actually didn't do drugs. What was wrong with me? I went to high school in the 70s and I wasn't doing drugs. What the fuck? There's something seriously, seriously wrong with me. Is that working? I'm going to try to pull that back a little. We're going to try to squeeze it a little this way. And I'm going to go that way. I had long hair and everything. And no, I'm not showing the pictures. I got long hair again. I probably should have gone out a little earlier this year and got it cut back. You know what? This is almost... I'm going to smooth that out a little bit and then we'll update that. I still got the weird curve in here and I thought I fixed that. I'm almost good with this. Oh, we got a little bit right here. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. All right, I think I've got a good fit. Oh, I got to fix the top. Up along here. So I'm gonna increase the fall off, and we'll just get that like so. And maybe push you over a little bit like that. I think that's good. Now we're going to do that thing where we smoothed out the back again. So we're going to hide the fringe again. So I'm going to select that. That is not the... There it is. Are you the fringe? No, somewhere in here is something that says fringe. There it is. There's the fringe. I'm going to select that. I'm going to select that. We're going to hide those. Wait, how did my name change back to Permafried Wookie? What? I don't see it. What the hell? I still see Bluxosaurus Rex everywhere. Ruh-roh. So weird. Your mobile says it's my name and it's still Permafried. Ooh, mobile Twitch is evil. All right, let's go over to sculpt mode. How strange. You must have to... Maybe that's it. All right, we're going to do the... I am in smooth. So we're just going to smooth this out again. Have I got the right thing selected? I do. All right. Go into sculpt mode. Oh, there we go. I see it now. Okay, should be good. Almost good, almost good. I gotta pull this stuff back out a little bit. We'll rotate just to make sure. You know what? I'm gonna fill this in a little bit in the back. This is very subtle, but I can see it changing. Hey, Lund, how are you doing? It's turning out to be not as big as a pain as I was worried. Initially, I was thinking the fringes would be a real pain in the ass to work with the morphs, but it hasn't been a pain yet. Getting the boots right, and part of it's my fault because I just didn't set them up right to begin with, which is usually the case. I think my boots are good. I think these are going to be the actually I want to move the tops up a little bit on these. So I want to bring that one in. And we're going to pop back over to edit mode. And just real quick, here's how we're doing so far. We have started the textures. I've got most of the basic morphs already added in here. The special morphs will come later. It's fixed. Yay. It's a Bluxosaurus Rex everywhere. Currently, the skirt and the top are one part, and we'll break those apart later. And also then we will also break it apart so you can undo the top and undo the back of the skirt. So I am still tweaking. You know what? I'm going to run through here. I'm going to do that. So I want to raise this up to be about the height of the other one. And then I'm going to hide that, and we're going to make sure we're still fitting. I think we're still fitting. Looks good. All right, let's, I think this is going to be the shape that we're going to use for the boot now. Just an excuse to introduce. Oh, you should never actually have to have an excuse to introduce new emotes. All right, let's export this. I'm going to export this over, you know what? I'm just going to export it over that. We're just going to come in here. We're going to load that in. Reload that in. Also thinking about an animation and pose perspective, having all those little strips move. Well, you know, they deforce, it deforces relatively fast. It's not the worst thing I've deforced. Well, I'll deforce it here in a couple minutes. Also, I have to play with poses. I haven't actually tried posing it yet, but I think it'll be fine. Um, I'm going to check my morph target. I'm going to just come in here. So I think that's a lot better than what I had. Okay, so we're going to reset that. I'm going to export the boots back out. And then we're going to update the geometry with this new shape. Let me just double check that we're still base resolution looking good. Activate the export. I'm just going to overwrite that one right there. I'm going to say replace it. Yes. Accept. All right, let's reset the boots. Let's update the geometry. With that, this should work, except I'm going to put that right there so I can see if it changes nicely or not. I think that worked well. And then when we repose, it should look okay. I hit the wrong pose. That was the Genesis 9 pose. Of course, it didn't work for Genesis 8. There we go. All right, I'm happy with my boots. Let me put it in a pose and run a... I haven't tested any poses yet. I'm going to move my content library over to screen 2 for just a minute, in case there's something I shouldn't be showing on stream in my content library. I don't think there is, but I should probably go through and clean out some of these directories with the excess garbage just floating around there. I'm looking for my people. There's my people. There's our Genesis 8 female. Let's go to poses. Go 1, 2, 3. I like these Iona poses from Renderosity. Yo, it's Tatty Bidet. How are you doing? I think we have the Tatty command. Tatty baby. Oh no. It helps if I spell it right. How you been, buddy? There we go. Check out Tatty Bidet. You streaming later today? Am I rating you later today? Probably. I say that and then I find somebody else who I'm going, oh, I really got to rate this person. You were like my, I want to say, second or fourth most rated person last year. Or the person I rated the most. You're sick. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I hope you get better soon. Thanks for popping in. That's right. Say hi to Charles. All right, let's put a pose on. I'm going to do that, and we'll run the sim to see how it's working out. I'm going to back this up. We'll give this a little bit more room so we can kind of see a bit better what we're doing here. Okay, and we'll just run the, there we go. We'll run the simulation. Oh no, why did it do that? That was weird. The fringes are working fine. There is a little weird boop right at the very beginning. I'm wondering if there's some sort of weird pose thing going on. Some of the fringes are getting caught up on stuff, but that's kind of to be expected with fringes. It's funny. I have tested the D-Force, but I didn't test it with a pose yet. Let's see if we can. So let's do that. Maybe I've got some sort of shaping thing going on in here that's I'm not aware of. Let's Control Shift F that. Let's try this again and see if I can figure out. I might just have to reapply. I want to watch my knot in the back too, by the way. So we'll do it this way. So this side did something weird. Let's try that again. My knot's doing fine. I'm wondering what in the world. I'm going to take the D-Force off and put it back on. We'll cancel that. How unusual. Maybe it is being caused by the fringe. I mean, there's a couple ways we can find out. We could just maybe take the D-Force off the fringe and see if that actually makes a difference or if it's just something else. And maybe I take Self-Collide off the fringe, although I really don't want to do that. So I'm going to take Visible in Simulation off the fringe and let's see how that works. Nope, it's still doing it. I'm wondering if there's something memorized in here that's weird. Let's do this. I'm going to undo. I'm going to get the fringe back on again. You know what? Maybe if we just redo the D-Force, let's start that and then we'll work our way back up and see if there's if it's an issue right from the get-go. So let's come over here to simulation settings. Let's pop over into here. Let's go into D-Force and is that where remove D-Force modifier? There we go. So now we should only be seeing the boots doing stuff. Yep, okay, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to select make sure we have the outfit selected. Apply the D-Force. Okay, I'm just going to run it right off the bat without doing anything else. And that is weird. That is annoying. What in the world is it doing? The skirt seems fine. Something in the top being weird. Is there something in my mesh that I'm not aware of? Maybe it's in the straps or the knot. So there's trying to troubleshoot this. So there's this knot attachment. I wonder if that's the knot attachment's not doing anything funky. So I'm going to grab all the straps and we'll just turn them off from the simulation and see what happens. Nope, it's still. How peculiar. That's annoying. Is it just the pose? It only happens when it's posed. Did I accidentally pose the dress? Is that what? I'm going to delete the dress. I have it saved. I'm going to reload. That's the fun of Daz. There's always something new. All right. Okay, if I do this, we're in our default pose. It does what it's supposed to do. I'm going to move. We're going to move body parts. Maybe it's something weird with the pose I loaded in. But I don't know if we maybe, let's twist along through in here. I'm going to go into posing. In this way, I can kind of. You know what? Are you even rigged properly? I'm going to run the transfer tool on this again. Because it doesn't even look like it. Let's just try that. This outfit here. Nope, that's not it. Genesis 8. What are you doing over there? Let's try this again. Okay, now let's try. Oh, I think I solved the problem. That didn't look like it was parented. I probably loaded it in wrong. Maybe not. No, that's better. All right, let's see how this goes. That's working fine. That pose is doing something weird when it applies. I wonder if it's spinning the hip or something really awkward. But it should still work better. See, now I'm fine. What the hell? My strips look really thin, but they get better when we render them. I think I'm going to make this a little tighter. I'm going to add a little bit of contraction expansion onto that. These look really thin, but there's a displacement on there, so when we render it, it should be fine. Or at least look better. So I'm thinking it's not the dress as much as the pose. Have you got your displacement map on you? Yeah, there's the displacement map. I think I gotta punch that displacement up a little bit more though. Or maybe we'll just punch it up more. Why are you getting... Do I have contraction and expansion on these strips? It almost looks like they're getting smaller. Maybe we'll add a little expansion on them if it's just getting thin. Maybe they're just stretching out from weight. And also, I don't think my displacement map is popping properly. I do... No, that's the stitching. You know what? I think I updated these textures and didn't save them. Let's check. I'm gonna come over here and I do have my displacement. Oh, the displacement level's still off. There's my displacement map problem right there. Also, those do look like they're stretching out thin, so let's take a look at the top fringes and see if I'm doing something silly like... I'm not. I think they're just stretching and getting thinner. So you know what? Maybe I just add a little expansion to it and see if that helps a little. That means they'll probably get a little bit longer. So I might go in and model them up a little bit shorter later on. Maybe we take some stretchiness out of it. That didn't do anything. That just makes them look weirder. Never mind. Let's just cancel that. Let's set you back to 100. Let me see. Stretch dampening. Maybe we put a little stretch dampening on it. If I say 1, is that going to explode things? I think that's doing the trick. Maybe not. It looks like they're still stretching thin. Maybe they're just twisting too. Let's do a render with the displacement on it and see how that looks. Anyhow, that you can kind of see how the fringes are simulating. Did I forget to turn my displacement level on again? I may have, or maybe I want to just crank it up a little higher because of the way I've got this set up. I think I need to crank it a little higher. I'm going to do that. I'm going to come back over here. We are looking at my displacement map. It does have 6, but you know what? I think I'm going to 0.25 because of the way I set these up. Make it a little bit thicker. Let me see how that's looking. I'm seeing the thickness now. I'm going to play with those D4 settings to see if I can get them to not to hold their shape a little bit better. It also might be from the smoothing modifier. And the sub D. Actually, and maybe I'm going to kick that up just a little bit more. Yeah, I want to cancel that. Let's try 3.5 millimeters. And these aren't actually going all the way to 3.5 millimeters. My displacement map has like has these things popped up on top. And then my bottom layer is like this, maybe like 2.5 or 3. Anyhow, let's see how that's looking, or if this just looks too goofy thick. And whatever I do with these fringes, ooh, that's, oops, 3.5. I need to do 0.35. That's what happens when you type in 3.5 instead of 0.35. That is 3.5 centimeters of displacement. I'm going to say 0.4. We're going to do that. That's 4 millimeters of displacement. Let's try that. I'm going to back up a little bit because I want to see other parts and how they're working out too. This is the sort of thing I kind of have to get dialed in before I make, 20 or so material files. I think that's going to work. I think I'm going to maybe smooth these seams out a little bit. Those are popping too much, though. And these are popping. I think I'm dial that back to 3.5. And I think I'm going to go into my displacement map and tweak it a little bit so that this isn't as... Yeah, let's dial you back to 3.5. And I'm going to adjust the Actually, let's make that 0.3, and we're going to actually adjust the underlying displacement map. So I'm going to launch Photoshop for this, is where I kind of set up the layers for the displacement maps. Are you on my recent list? That one right there is what I want. And I have that right there. I should tweak the opacity on that. Instead of 65, you should be maybe 30. I think that'll give me better results. Yep. All right, let's resave this. File, export as, should say JPEG. Come on, say JPEG. I am working with 4K, 8K maps today. I don't know. I might leave them at that, or I might shrink them down to 4. We'll see. And there's the displacement map, so we'll save over that. And we'll pop back over into here. It should refresh, but if it doesn't, we can try to manually push a refresh and then render. That looks a little better. Those don't look. They're still coming up off the layer there, but that's looking fine. I'm going to try to tweak this and this a little bit. I'll do that later. I think I'm happy with the direction this is heading in now. Okay. Let's stop that. Let's say, yes, I'm going to cancel that. Is good. Let's reset. Let me try another pose. Actually, can I just back this up to the, so what is going on with this pose that has it do weird things when we simulate? Oh, now it seems to be fine. I don't know. Anyhow, that's an example of how well the fringes simulate. And this is more or less typical simulation speeds for my stuff. So I think I'm going to be okay. The fringes seem to act kind of like fringes. Sometimes they get stuck on each other, sometimes they don't. So I think I got, see, you're getting a little bit of weirdness down here. These have got a little bit of body to them. They're not quite, I don't know, I don't think these are quite at 100, which I think is fine. I have them set at 90, so they hold a little bit more shape. I think this is fine. I'm going to save, I'm going to save this outfit though. Here, let's turn that off. I can just save it from here. We'll do that. Boop. And you're going to go over to Genesis 8 outfit right there. I'm going to overwrite that. It's past 2, so I think I'm going to switch and try to work on the holidays vignette for a little bit. And then we'll come back to this outfit at 3. Does this look good? That looks good. All right, I'm going to accept that. I'm going to resave the boots because we're done reworking those. All right, I'm going to reset you. We're going to repose the feet. I'm going to save this twice. I'm going to save it once as an asset because I changed the geometry, so I want to get that saved out. Frontier outfit, boots G8 female, footwear, accept that, does its thing. And I'm going to apply this pose. And now we're going to save it as a wardrobe item so we can save it with the feet posed. So wearable preset, we're going to do that. I'm just going to overwrite that. I'm going to say yes. I'm just going to save the boots. Actually, I should change the name of the boots. Damn it, it says fringe boots still. Let's redo that. Matthias, how are you doing? Imagine what a nightmare would be if the cloth and the boots could not be. I know. I'm not sure I could be a merchant if this stuff wasn't dynamic. And I forget what I'm doing. I was in the middle. What am I doing with these boots? I'm going to save them. But I had a thought that I needed to. Oh, that's right. I named the boots wrong. They still say fringe, and I named them to say frontier. Frontier boots. And I didn't spell female right. There we go. Frontier boots, G8 female. Looks good. I'm going to come up into here, and I'm going to come here into the, and right there, I'm going to change that to say frontier. And then I'm going to accept that. There we go. And then we're going to resave the boots as a figure prop asset. And before I do that, I'm actually going to delete the existing data directory. So, you know what? You should. Where am I? I'm in the wrong folder. Damn it. I need to be over here. We are in the dresses folder. And I was calling this fringe dress, but I changed it to be frontier dress. And we're going to remove the old version. And I'm doing this just so I'm making sure I'm not getting, that actually looks right, but it doesn't hurt to delete it and then just resave it. Okay, that's good. And then I'm going to resave it as a wearable so we can save the foot pose with it. And we're not saving the outfit. And then we'll come over here to poses. And I just want to save the feet. I'm going to save that. I'm going to resave the feet poses hierarchical material presets because that's what Daz likes me to do. or I mean hierarchical pose presets. But to make that a little easier, I'm going to select the feet first. I'm just going to expand from here. And what I want is I want all of from here to here, but I don't want these. And then I'm going to come over here and save as a hierarchical pose preset. Do I got the right thing selected though? I think I'm good. Let's try that. I'm going to overwrite that. Save. Already exists. Yep. All right, so these are all the things that'll pull pose information for, but we just want the feet. So I'm just going to right click and check only scene selected items. There we go. Accept that. And wait a minute while it does its thing. Is it done? Is it doing anything? It's done. All right. So now Control Shift F. The reason Daz likes that is if I have the boot selected and I apply the pose, it still poses the feet on the figure. Or actually in this case, but that's going to change. I'm going to break this outfit up into two parts eventually. I think this is good. I'm going to save a material file for both of these so I can apply them to the G8 version. And then we're going to move over to Holidays vignette for a little bit. I'm just going to call you, I don't know which one you were. I'm going to cancel that because I lost track what I was doing. There we go. I've got the boot selected. And I'm just going to do a material preset. And I'm just going to say boots, and I'm just going to save everything. If I was just doing a normal preset, I wouldn't save the simulation settings, but this is just a working file, so that also includes the simulation settings. And then we'll select the outfit. I'll do the same thing because I've tweaked the D4 settings a little in this. I think I'm going to want those on the G9 version too. Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Nope, it's still thinking. If I were doing a bunch of material files, I would turn the CMS off because that's the reason this takes so long. I should still probably turn this. I'm going to leave the CMS on. I'm kidding. We still have to do this one more time for the outfit if this ever finishes updating. I think a big factor is just the amount of content I have installed from Daz. So what it's doing is it's updating the database for Daz content. And it's so fast at it too, isn't it? There we go. All right, that's done. And then we're going to do I'm going to turn it. Actually, I'm just going to turn the smart content off. It's going to go fast enough where it's going to make. We're going to stop that. We're going to say smart, and I'm going to save so much time there. And then we'll just do a material preset, and this is just going to be outfit. And I'm going to accept that, and it's done. Versus the how long that took to do the boots. Okay. I don't think I have to save anything in here. I think this is all saved up in here. So I can be bold. I can just say, I can just delete that. And we can just do file open recent. Is holidays still in my recent list? I'm not seeing it. Let's go find it then. Open. Um, holidays. Holidays. There we go. Do I not have it? I do. Right there. Let's see where I left off with this. I think I still have to do the frame and the wreath. All right, well, that's coming up. I don't need this anymore. I don't need this anymore. I'm going to hit save on this, and we're going to put Substance Painter away for now. It's still clearing the scene. Deleting objects. Oh my god. I so need to rob a bank so I can get a new computer. There we go. All right, things to do. Did I already do that Christmas tree? We got to get the Christmas tree in here. I got to finish up the frame. We do have our little snowflakes falling down. I should probably make a fake background or something. And I don't know. I don't know if this is getting done today. I do need to do substance. Let's do this in substance. I think that's just going to be, I think I'll just make that brown, actually brown with green trim, or green with brown trim. We'll take a look at both. Anyhow, I do need substance for that. Actually, let's take a look at where we are with this in Blender. And we're seeing where we left off. All right, here we go. Okay, that Christmas tree needs to get done. That wreath and this. I do want to do a texture in that in substance. And I do want to texture the tree to be kind of like the other trees. So I think I like have a felt on here. I think that's the only, and then a tree trunk material. So maybe what I'll do is I'll open this file up and then import this, and then I can use some of those materials on here and tweak the others. Anyhow, have I saved this tree out yet? I don't know. Let's export the tree. Let's make sure it's exported out. And we are going over to no, I keep forgetting I can't type letters in Blender and go to a folder. And what is the date on that? The 13th. You know, that looks like it's about the right. Let's just see what we got here. You I don't need. All right, let's take a look at what we have with substance. Had to step away. This is going to be a snow globe. And no, it's just a holiday vignette. I mean, I guess you could put it in a globe if you wanted to. But this is a place to pose all them sexy elves. And I forgot what I'm doing. I'm launching Painter again. That's right. We knew that. top shelf elf. Yes. Uh-oh. I'm out of milk. All right, let's see. File. What is in the recent list? Tiny trees. I want to start with tiny trees because tiny trees has a green and a trunk material I want to repurpose. And then what we're going to do is, I think I'm going to do edit project configuration. Select. We're going to choose a new. We're going to come over here. Over to here, into here. So did I do tree? I have a basic tree, but it's got materials, so I have to re-export the tree with no materials. And do that, so we do selected only. Export that. I might have to bring the tree in again with the materials. Where am I? I'm in here. There we go. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? And by we, I of course mean me. I've got to uncheck that. That's better. We'll rebake all our mesh maps. And you know what? You don't need you. I'm going to reset the defaults. Put you back to 2K. Position curvature. Not that, that, and that. It's still going. It's still going. It hasn't failed yet. Here's hoping Substance doesn't break. Substance likes to break while I'm streaming. Okay, now I'm going to break the ID map. I'm going to resave this with better ID colors, though. We'll do that. Because right now I've got Think materials on here. That looks good. What about the star? Let's change the... I'm just going to put this back to principal for right now. And make that yellow. And then export it out again. And hopefully these are different enough colors. And this time we'll do materials, and I will do that. And we'll pop back over to here and we'll load that in for ID map purposes. I'm just going to double check. That looks like... I'm not concerned about the colors of the ornaments. I'm going to do those up in DAS. And they're actually lights. But anyhow, so I'm going to do that. So for purposes of making an ID map, we make these cage really, really, really small, but not 0. Also, I'm going to increase the size of the texture. And then I'm just going to bake the ID map. And I don't see anything over in here, but that's... I'm hoping this works. I see my stuff on the map. I don't know if I loaded this in. I think my... you know what? Something I never had to do is recenter the camera in Substance. Recenter camera. How to reset the viewport. Messed it up with something. Um, Shift Alt click, dragging the mouse. There it is. Okay. Okay, felt fabric, tree. I don't need melted snow anymore, so we can get rid of that. These colors are probably off. I'm gonna get rid of that. Why are you guys black? You didn't bake right. I have the feeling that looks right. I gotta tweak this a little bit more, I think. That looks better. Let's try this. Oh, did I forget to no, I did check materials. Okay, never mind. Back over here. All right, let's reload. Holidays tree. You know what? You still look weird. I'm gonna check my ID map. My ID map's not baking right. I'm gonna do this. Let's re-import and then recolor it from there. You look fine here. When in doubt, try not saving over something. All right, back over into here. Let's try this again. Of course, now my tree isn't lined up in the same spot, so I have to reload it twice. You know what? Let's just do this again. I should probably just group these together and save it as smart material and bring it back in and just redo this from scratch. So, there we go. Let's, where's the thing that does the smart material thing? Create smart material. There we go. All right, file new. Tree NM2. I'm going to just discard that. All right, that looks better. Bake mesh map. I'm going to turn that thickness. Oh no, there's no ornaments on the back of it because I'm lazy. All right, let's bake the ID map. Off, 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 on, off, off. Once again, we make you really small. I probably don't need to make this a 4K map today. We'll just try that without. Should be fine. And then I'm just going to drop that onto there. Open that up. Color selection. Pick a color. You don't look like you baked right. Let's try that again. Why did you bake like that? Maybe I don't even have good UVs on here. Wouldn't that be, that could possibly be an issue. Yeah, that's probably my issue. My UVs are jank. That's probably better. All right, we'll do it again that way. Do it again that way with the materials. All right, we're going to come on here and update that. With that one there. And then we'll rebake. With that. And then we'll rebake all the others. Because we've changed the UVs. So reset. Probably good. Let me get rid of you. All right, now after all that fumbling around blindly, all right, so what do I got? The trunk. And you are the vegetation. That's better. That's what it's supposed to look like. All right, let's get a brass or gold that we can use for the star. Put that on there. And I'm good to go. The rest of these, we're going to change the colors in DAZ. All right, let's export that. Actually, I got to save you. File. Save as. Holidays. Holidays. Whip. You know what? I'm just going to say tree. Is good. All right. Control Shift E. So now when we do it, we are saving with file name. And I want you to be just my straight up 5-channel. Export that. Open the old output directory. Don't need you, and you are all garbage. These are the ones we want. And we'll pop back over to the runtime textures. There's the Holly DAZ vignette. And in here, new folder as tree. Drop these in here. is good. All right, let's get the tree in the DAS. That is Blender. There's DAS. Import. I'm in the wrong folder again. Of course I am. And what do we want? Tree 2, right? Yep, there we go. Yay. It's off-centered, but that's okay. We don't care. Gee. Yeah, you're going to sit in here. We'll bring you out a little bit. Like so. Maybe I'll pull this out a little. Is that clipping the edge a little bit? Yep. Let's have it not touch. And then we'll put our, you know what, I'm going to, and then we'll set up our materials on this. And I can make it smaller. I'll apply my generic shader. And we can just drag and drop, and then we're going to go through and tweak the glass and the emitters. Okie dokie. Base color. Boop. Metallic. Normal map. And I just use normal and height maps. I don't know. Probably should stop doing that. And there's a roughness map. All right, is good. Oh, dang it. I did it just for one of the emitters. Let's just copy that and let's just paste that to the whole tree. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to let's start with the glass. And I'm going to put, what are you? Which one are you? You're a solid clear glass. I like that. We'll just put that on there. And then we can just tweak these. That one's supposed to be blue. That's green. I might change the glossy colors on these too if we have to. Orange. Purple. Red. Yellow. We'll start with this. Then we'll put the emitters on and we'll see if I want to adjust these colors or not. This might be fine. Okay, then I'm just going to grab the emitters. Right here, I have a generic emissive shader. We'll just drop that on. And actually what I'm going to do is let's clear it out with a base shader first. Then we put the emissive on. And then we're just going to change the colors of these. We'll start with blue. I'm going to go with like brighter. It's actually a cyan. I don't, let's make that blue. Let's just try that. And then we'll just do green. And orange. And purple. And red. And yellow. Let's see how that's looking. Let's activate a render. And I can't see chat anymore, damn it. All right. Let's see how you're doing. I think those are going to work for the lights. My light's a little bright. It's blowing things out. But I think that's going to work for the tree. All right, let's turn that off. All right, let's hit save on this and move on. Let's get this frame All right, have I saved the frame out already? I don't know. Let's find out. There's a frame. That probably has colors. So I need one without colors so we can use that in Substance. I'm going to do this in Substance as well. And that says Fram. Classic Chris. Frame, no materials. Materials is turned off. Export. Come over here. Hit save. File new. Actually, did I think I UV mapped the frame. I think I saw that. Yep, that got UV mapped. All right. So I want that. And why does it always start in the back? Oh, there's nothing in there. Oh, woe is me. All right, is good. Let's get my ID map baked. It has two colors. That's fine. Okie dokie. Let's get in the painting. Let's file. Let's save you. File. Save as. Holidays. Frame. I thought I heard something. Let's say wood. Yeah, let's see, what do we got over here? Stylized wood rough. You know what? Maybe we do that. Totally going to rotate that 90 degrees. I like that. I think we're going to tile that up a little bit. That looks nice. So the question is, and then I'm just going to do this again. Let's just dupe this, and we'll use a mask, and we'll duplicate. There we go. Duplicate. Let's put a black mask with a color selector, and I'm going to do this on here. Then we'll come over here and see. Hey, I can change the color right here. Excellent. So do I want to do it like that? Or do I want the green on the... I like the green on the outside. Although maybe we just make you darker. Also, I think I want the grain on the inside to run up and down instead of side to side, but we can fix that. So if we just make you... Actually, I kind of like it a little darker. That looks nice. Maybe I'm going to go with that. I am going to have a wreath right here, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. And let's rotate the... Where's my... That didn't change. That's because I got to change it over here. Right there where I changed it before. We'll just set it in there. I like that. So I'm going to use that. Control-Shift-E. Out it goes. I have saved you, right? Yep, export that. Oh no, I got. Oh, I didn't change my my color or my template. So what we got is a whole bunch of stuff we don't need. Don't need an AO map. I don't need I think I do need the OpenGL, right? You know what? I'm gonna turn my normal. I'm gonna delete this because I'm confused. Now we're gonna come back over here and in settings, I'm gonna make sure I choose my 5-channel template that I use. There we go. That should be good. And we need a in here with the frame. Paste that. Come over here. I think this is actually already sitting in DAS waiting impatiently. And so let's drop that on. And then, you know what? Is that metallic black? That metallic is black, so we don't actually need that. Put that there. Dial the metallicity to 0. Put that into the bump channel. Put that into the normal channel. Add that to the roughness channel. And it looks something like that. All right, let's hit save. And I think we just need to get the, and I want to put something in the background. All right, let's get the wreath. That looks like it's been UV mapped. All right, we'll export that twice. Did I already do the wreath? I don't think I have done the wreath yet. Materials are still off. And do that again. I'm just going to double check. We'll see how this lines up. See if I have to touch this up with color or not. I don't. I think there's only bulbs and emitters and then leaves. And leaves can all probably just be one material. Anyhow, let's just do this and see how it goes. And did I do that with no materials? I wasn't paying attention. I did. Let's do that again. All right. All right. Meanwhile, in Substance, hit save on that. And File and New. And Select. And Wreath, no materials. Say okay to that. It's big. I'm not even sure. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I might not even need to do anything with this in Substance. I might just touch it up with colors. I don't know. Let's bake. This is probably a big mistake. Let's save as. And now let's bake and see if this actually bakes with all that geometry in there. There's a bunch of teeny little needly things in here. I'm going to turn that off and that off, and let's see how this goes. It's actually going not too slow. Now it's going slower. What are we doing? We're doing the ambient occlusion. It's all that stuff occluding on that other stuff. And now it's onto the curvature map. And it did a position map, which I didn't really need, but that went really quick. And I'm going to be bold, and we're going to do an ID map. I don't know if this has colors. That's not going to preview. What am I thinking? Same drill. Really teeny cages. Really tight. And then let's see how that goes. Not too terrible. But it's good. All right, baking failed. Let's redo. Let's redo this without that. All right, I'm going to rebake these without using high poly mesh. Oh no, I'm dropping frames. Hopefully the stream's still running. Ambient occlusion's done. We're moving on to the curvature map, which wasn't quite as slow as ambient occlusion, but it might be. Yep, it's making progress. Curvature, and we're done. All right, now we're going to do the ID map. We survived that. Part of I had this at 4K. Probably should have remembered to lower that back down. All right, now we'll try to get that ID map baked. All right, it's looking good. All right, let's try this. Fingers crossed. That wasn't too horrible. All right, let's hit save. Let's pop over into Paint. Hopefully the stream won't get too laggy after this. All right, I need, I don't know, do I have like a grass material? Stylized wild grass, what do you look like? I'm tempted to just, why do I got a different color over there? Or is that just the way stylized grass works? I got two colors. This is actually going to be fine. All I really need out of this is the color map, so I think I'm just going to save that out. These aren't going to use map colors. I don't know if there's a little bulb backing on those, isn't there? Let's see how this goes. I'm just going to save out a color map. Where's my export? Where are you? Where are you? I have no idea where that folder opened up to. Oh, Chris doesn't know where his export folder is anymore. I want to say it's in Documents and Adobe and Substance Painter. And there it is. Found it. I am going to give a separate folder for the wreath, even though I'm just going to use one color map in there. Should be good. Alrighty. Let's get the wreath into Daz. Should line up there. Excellent. So I got different colors. I got filament. I got glass. I got blue. I got reflectors. I got glass. I got filament. I got a base, and I got a leaves. You know what? I think I'm going to put the color on those. I'm going to put iRay on. Actually, does this... So I'm probably good here. So I'm going to hit save and close that. And I'm going to probably tweak the colors of these glass. I got blue, green, red. I don't know. Let's make you yellow. Did I already set these? I did. And I think I'm good. Let's see how this is rendering up. It's 3 o'clock. I think I'm almost done with this. I think I can just save it out and maybe save a scene file or save a scene subset. I probably should make different color emitters though for this so the colors pop better. So, you know what? I think we'll do that right now. And we'll just do that right here in Daz. So what, I have that, so we'll come into here. And I'm going to go into the tool settings, sway faces. So I don't need the reflectors. And what was the base? I'm not even sure what the base was. I'm not even seeing a base. And we'll hide the release. And then what we can do is we can come in here and hide these glasses one at a time, and I can kind of reassign these. Create surface. Emitter yellow. Accept that. Assign is good. We'll just come along here. When I see a little doohickey out there by itself, do that, and assign that. And we'll just kind of do the same drill. There's a couple. There's 3. So I can control click and add to the selection, and control plus gets all the connecteds. And to help me see how I'm doing, I can just kind of hide that. All right, so that's good. So we got the yellow ones. So what we'll do is we'll hide the blue glass. And if we see any of these hang out there by themselves, they're the ones that go with the blue. So select those. Come over here, create surface from selected. Emitter blue. Do that. And then I can just kind of hide that. It lets me know that I got those. Got a couple. You see that one? Little lost there and there. And I think I got a couple more here and here. And then add those. Hide those. And keep moving along. There's a couple more. And then I got this one last one right here. Then we'll do that for the red. And then whatever's left over in filament, we'll just make the green. Excellent. Alrighty. So I'm going to hide the red. I can kind of grab these, do this, and make a new from selected, and that'll be emitter red. Accept that. And then if I hit hide on that, oh, you didn't get selected, did you? Hey, hello. How are you doing, Monsieur Loke? All right, touch that, control and control click, and then expand. I'm finishing up a little holiday vignette. Oh no, you became visible again. And I'm recoloring some of my geometry because I want to give them different colors. So I'm reassigning materials. Probably not going to make it tonight, but something I can't see because I got stuff in the way chat. Sorry, man. Damn it. Oh, there they go. Yay, I'm good. And then I'm just going to rename that emitter green. Is good. Oh, now I can read chat. Probably not making it tonight, but going to drop the long sleeve. Hey, appreciate that, man. Exhausted and the neck is glitched. Oh no. But other than that, all is well. I'm doing okay. making progress on this, and I'm working on a fringed, I'm calling it a frontier outfit. It's a top skirt, fringed top, fringed skirt, and fringed boots. All right, I think I can bring this all back to life and give it colors. And then I can tweak the colors on the emitters so they look better. So the emitter blue is going to, it doesn't have an emission color. Oh no. There, now it has an emissive color. So the blue's going to be blue. Duh. Green's going to be green. Red's going to be red. And the yellow's going to be purple or yellow. All right, let's see how this is looking. Control R. So I'm going to do this. We're going to save everything out in the data folder, and I'm going to be a slacker. Take a much needed work break, but the next said, relaxing? What's that? I'm sorry, dude. That looks a lot better. We like that. Yay, happy, happy, joy, joy. All right, I'm going to do that. We're going to save everything out in the data folder. I don't know if I'm going to do thumbnails for this or not. We'll see. Anyhow, let's start plowing this into the data folder. There we go. We have our little holiday vignette. There's Mac the Commie Snowman. There's a cheap ass tree. There's a little scene in the background. I'll let you put something, a plane or something in the background if you want to. But anyhow, let's do this. Boop. Actually, let me make sure. I think I have a content library folder for this. Holidays vignette. There we go. Environments. Chris Cox vignette. We'll just put everything right in here. So I'm going to do that. Come over here. Holidays. Holidays, vignette, environments, me. There we go. I'm just going to put that holidays. Holidays. Wreath. I don't have a project in here. There we go. I'm going to do that. And you're just going to be a prop. No, you're not. Oh, you know what the problem is? Somebody has this content management system turned off. Dope. All right, let's do that. All right, let's save you out. Actually, let me cancel that because that's a misspelling. There we go. Now I'm going to save that. All right, tiny trees. Did I spell tiny trees right? It looks like it did. That was a save an image. That's the save. There we go. Okay, we got the what are you? Snowy Hills. Snowy Hills. Candy cane. Okay, let's get the ground. There's the snow. Coming along. I think I'm good enough to share it, although it's not going to have polished thumbnails. And also it's still, I don't know, you still probably want to put a picture or something in the background. What is that? This is the snowflake, snowfall, snowflakes. I'm going to call snowflakes. I think that's what we have. I just called it snow there. Just make sure to stick that right there is good. Did we do Mac Takami Snowman yet? We have not. Let's get Mac. Mac could probably use a little bit more touch up, but close enough. Let's do that. Mac Takami Snowman. And I don't think I've gotten the tree done yet. And I think I started with the wreath. So I think that's everything. I'm going to load everything in, and then we'll save it out as a scene subset. So it all should. Oh, I haven't saved the couch yet. Dang, dog. And then we're going to do textures on the fringe on the Frontier outfit until 4. All right, is good. I think I can be bold and delete everything. And then we're just going to reload. I'm going to reorganize a little bit before we save out. Where's my tiny trees? There they are. You totally forgot you're taking place in the... Oh, dude. I haven't been today, so I haven't grabbed a copy of Jenny yet. I grabbed a copy of the leggings just to grab a copy of the leggings. I think you already gave me a copy though, but still. just to let you know that I did see it and I am grabbing stuff. Okay, yeah, the only thing I need to do is I need to make an instance of the candy cane. So we're going to create a new node instance of that. If I do this, where's the, and then because I want that over there and I want it kind of rotated the other way like that. There we go. All right, so this is the scene. Now I'm going to do a little bit of organization. So everything's we're going to have a ground plane. I'm going to have tiny trees parented to the snowy hills. I want the wreath parented to the frame. And I want the candy canes, the couch, the frame. You know what? I'm going to parent the snow, the tree, and Mac the Kami snowman. And you know what? I'm going to parent all of this stuff to the ground. Like that. You had zero idea, but then you get 10 reviews and like, what the hell? All right, I think I'm good. And then I'm just going to say this is a scene subset and call that a day on this. And this is actually in a, I should be able to zip this up and share it, even though it's got janky thumbnails. And do I actually want to put this in a group, or do I want to leave this just parented? I think I'm going to put it all in a group. And maybe what I'll do is I'll unparent the snowy hills. And then we'll group these two together. So we'll just put a group, or I just put a new, I'm just going to create a new group. Or is it easier? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create I'm going to create a null, and we're going to save that. I like nulls because they're in the center, and if you want to rotate everything, it just rotates around the null. So I'm going to say new null. This is going to be holidays, and I'm just going to cheat and call it a group. Control V, then accept that, and then we just parent all of this to that, and that way you can select that and just rotate everything together based in the center. All right, and now we're going to save this out as a scene subset. Save as a scene subset, yay! Exclamation point. Daz hates it when you do that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do Holly Daz. I can do an exclamation point in here and just say scene. Set. I'm going to say set. There we go. We'll do that. Save that. And look at all of that stuff. We're going to uncheck all. And I only want that one right there. Oh no! My candy cane instance has gotten lost. Cancel that. Let's get you back. Let's get you back on the ground. Where is my ground? Oh man, I lost everything. Everything fell off the ground. Oh, when I reorganize stuff, all right, you go on the frame. Frame goes on the ground. Mat goes on the ground. Tree goes on the ground. Snow, I want to parent to the ground. Couch, candy cane instance. Went into the wrong spot. There we go. Now we're good. Now I'm going to save the subset. Not as much as they hate underscore signs. Exactly. You can use an exclamation point, you just can't have it at the very beginning. And they really don't like user facing underscores. Although they don't mind it if you have it over here in your surface names. All right, let's do this. Scene subset. So we're going to call this holidays exclamation point set. And uncheck all, select that, accept. And actually, I'm going to say full set, so we're going to rename this. There we go. All done. That's right, because it hijacks their ABC order. It's like usernames at Renderosity. Exclamation point triple A Bob. You imagine somebody sticking a number at the beginning, like 3D something something, just to get at the front of the list. All right. I think I'm happy with this. Um, let's browse to the folder location. So I'm going to come up here, and I should be able to just be. You swapped it with using O's, and so far they haven't yelled at you. Is this looking good? I think this is good. Is this all my? That looks nice. We like that. We got an environment. We got all our stuff there. I got my runtime. I got templates. Do I actually have anything in templates? I don't think I've got anything in templates. We're not packing that up. Okay, so I need a data folder. I need the environments. I need that. This we don't need. 7-zip. There we go. Holidays 2025 vignette. I'm gonna just dump this into the free stuff in the Discord. How big are you? You're only 99 megabytes. That's not too bad. You were the original Loki, then Loki 3D, and then he was like, wait, if I did 3D Loki, I'd be listed higher. Exactly. And then there were the poser files where everybody was always trying to get their stuff in the front. So they were doing like the exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. My product is so fucking important, it has to be in front of everybody else's. All right, all right, all right. Discord. Where's my Discord? There's my Discord. I'm gonna put that over there. Chris has a. Oh, submitted. I gotta submit my latest product. Okay. Valkyrie submitted her add-on, so I better hit submit on mine. I'll do that just after stream. Um, there's Dragon Space. There's something in the gallery. There is. I have a free stuff full cat in here, don't I? Freebies for downloading. There it is. Dum dum dum. It's usually turned into Feral announcing stuff, which is cool. There we go. Happy Holly Daz. Days and Confused. Not to be confused with Daz and Confused. There we go. I'm going to add a picture to it later, but for right now. I know. It was happening a lot in Poser World. It was insane. which is the reason why you can't put exclamation points at the beginning of file names at Daz. All right, I'm done with this. I'm gonna hit save. I'm in Discord. I'm gonna hit save over here. I'm gonna do file new, and we're going to do material setups for the fringe outfit. That's what we're doing now until for the next half hour, and then we're going to call it a day. So let's zip back over here to what was formerly the fringe dress. I'm going to load the outfit. Oops, that's a material file. I'm going to load the outfit in. I'm going to load the boots in. I'm going to save these as OBJs and then bring them back. And we're going to use that for setting up our material files. So let's select U and U, and let's make sure our mesh resolution is set to base. Let's set the mesh smoothing off. Do I have mesh smoothing on here? I do not. All right, we're good. I'm going to export these out. Export a file. Export a file. You need to go into here, and this is going to be Matt's. All right, I'm going to set up my thumbnail for this. I think I can just get rid of these for right now. And then we're going to re-bring in that thing I exported. Nope. Matt's. There's Matt's. Okay, and let me just take a look at the surface names and see if those came in right. Yes, that came in right. I'm going to group these up. How do we do that again? What is the thing? The thing that does the thing? The surface selection sets. That's right. I'm going to set up a couple of surface selection sets. Bungnell download and pics are in the gallery. Thank you. Cool beans. You forgot or fell asleep again. Dope. All right, I'm going to set a couple of surface selection sets up for this. I'm going to add one. This is going to be outfit because that's all on one map. And then I'm just going to assign that to everything that's not a boot. All right, then we're going to add that called boots. And then we just, actually, did I assign? Oh no, I forgot to do the accept. Wah. I have to click these all again. Can I just, is there an easy way to do that? Nope. That would be too easy. Honestly, Daz, in a lot of ways, a lot of this stuff, they have made a lot easier to use. This isn't one of them. I don't know if anybody actually uses this or not. Okay, so I'm going to accept that. Oops. And then I need to do this again for the boot. Because I accidentally hit the wrong button at the wrong time. So, set surface. So I'm going to come in here. And I'm just going to check all the things that say boot. And accept that. There we go. Now I can easily select the boot or the outfit. Excellent. All right, we're going to do a couple of things here. I'm going to apply my generic shader. I'm going to make sure there is no D-force on here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add D-force, then I'm going to take it away. There we go. And now I'm ready to start applying. So we're going to do the outfit first. And we're going to need Substance Painter for this as we set these up. And actually, I have the boots open. Let's do the boots first. And we are just saving colors. We're not saving D4 settings. So that goes there. That goes there. That's a displacement map. I'm going to add that later. The height map goes right there. Normal map goes there. Roughness map goes right there. Displacement map is going to be just on the fringe, so I'm going to come back here and just select the fringe. And then we're going to put the displacement map on that. Right there. And I'm going to make sure that says 6. And I'm going to set this to 0.2. All right, so the boots are ready to go. Now it's just a matter of mostly swapping out colors. And now we'll just do the outfit. And so for the outfit, come over to outfit. Nope, skirt and top. There we go. Base color, metallicity, height map, normal map, roughness map, and displacement map. And set that to 6. And I think we're going to make that 0.3. So that's good. So I'm going to save this as a material file. So right here, this is going to be 01 brown suede material preset. And what am I calling this? Frontier outfit. Frontier 01 suede brown. We'll do that. And all of this is good. And we're just going to double check. I do not have any simulation settings. Yay. So I can just hit accept and we're good to go. So I need a black and a white version of this. And do I want to do a tan version? And then I'm going to do some magic stuff. And I'm not sure we'll get to the magic stuff, but we'll see. And I got to do the dirty versions. So I think we'll do the dirty versions of these, and then we'll look at maybe the magic maps. I have to remember what that font was. I think it was, I forget. I have an Alchemist font somewhere, and I used it on the Arden outfit, and I forgot what it was already. Recent files. Frontier outfit. There we go. Okie dokie. Leather suede. There's a filter on here. I'm going to crank my saturation all the way up. Actually, I'm going to make a copy of this. Let's duplicate that so I don't lose these original settings. Because what I want for black and white, I like to have it shaded towards the blue. Like that. And then for white, I'm going to crank you up and take that saturation way down. So it's kind of like that. That's going to be the white version. And then I want these to actually... Do I want those silver? Do I want to punch them in gold? And do I want a pink? Now I'm coming up with new color schemes. I do want to make those silver. And those are... I called it flare. Let's duplicate that. Let's close that. Let's put a hue and saturation filter on that because that's a paint layer. And I'm going to just take that up all the way so I can kind of see. And I want this to be silver, so I'm going to slide that into the, once again, slide that into the blue range. But then we're going to take that saturation way down and maybe lighten it up a bit. And that's going to be the white version. And I only need the color map for this. So Control-Shift-E. And I'm looking for base color UDIM because we're also coloring the boots at the same time. I'm doing 8K maps, but I might shrink those down to 4. We'll see how boggy they get in practice. All right, one color map done. It's working on the second color map done. All done. Yay. Open the output directory. There we go. Come back over here. I want to take a look at how the boots are looking. Let's take a look at the boots over here. I want to switch that to white, and then I'm going to resave that. Are you the plain leather? You are. Okay, I'm going to dupe you. I'm going to turn you off. I'm going to come over here. I think you actually... No, you don't even have a color, so I have to put a filter on that one as well. Alrighty, you are... So I'm going to slide you over to here again. Take you all the way down to here, and maybe bring you back up so you're a little close to white. I am going to leave the soles the color they are, and I'm going to leave the black tip on the heel. So I'm going to resave this now with the updated boot color. Yo, Art, how are you doing today? We're working on the Frontier outfit, and we did a little bit more work on the holidays vignette. I haven't posted a picture of the holidays yet, but Farrell's already saying thank you. You're welcome, Farrell. I don't know if you're out there. So that little vignette I've been working on and off for the past few weeks is actually uploaded into the free stuff. Although I should include a picture with it, which I'll do after stream. All right, looking good. Let's take a look over here. Let's put these into folders we can use. Actually, this should say white. And that should say white, so I can keep these colors. There we go. And I want these to come over here. And I'm going to put the export folder over there. So that goes into here. And that goes into here. And now we can pop back over to Daz. And I'm going to select the boots. I'm going to take the white boot color. Drop that in. God dang it. Drop that in here. Then we're going to come back over to here and here. Take that white outfit color. Plop that in there. My boots didn't change colors. Why? because it didn't drop right, because it hates me. Let's try this again. There, I see it. It's there. It's there. There we go. And then we're just going to save that as a material preset. And that's going to be suede white. All right, the white is done. Let's do the black. All right, so for the black, I'm just going to stick with the brown. Or actually, let's make it black on the boots. So I'm going to dupe you. Turn you off. Come over here. We're looking at these heels. So I'm just going to crank that way until it's kind of black. So that's done. We're going to dupe the suede layers. I'm going to turn that one off. We're going to come over here. So for this one, it's kind of the same drill. We're just going to dial that back that way. My threads are looking a little... So we'll tweak that. My stitching could probably stand a little more desaturation. Also, my highlights is a little strong on the black, so I'm going to come over here and dial that back a lot more. Kind of like that. I think that does the trick. Okay, so do I want the brass or do I want the silver on the black? Also, my stitching is still looking a little red. I'm just going to, you know what? We're just going to kill the saturation on that. Oh, no, that's the flare. There's the stitching. I think that's going to be right. Okay, do I want to go with the original flare? You know what? I like the original, the brassy flare with the black. I think will be good. We'll just stick with that. All right, Control-Shift-E that. We're good to go. Export. And thank you for that shout out, Charles. You the man. And we're going to impatiently wait over here in this export folder while stuff happens. My white colors are still over there. How come? I see we've got one map generated. I see the other map is finished generating. I'm going to delete those. I'm going to rename these black over here. All right. Over here, that's the boot file. So we're going to move the boot color over there. Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't like you, Art. Oh, you know what it is? I think on YouTube it's not picking up the... I don't think it picks up the commands on the YouTube. Also, you may not have the rights. I thought I gave you the... You know what? It's probably... The rights probably assigned to your Twitch account. All right. Do that. Move this over here. Is good. Let's come back over to Daz. Let's select the outfit. Let's pop back over to here. Let's take that and drop it into the color channel. Excellent. Let's choose the boots. Let's come over here. Take that boot. Drop that in. Back over here. Looking good. Now we're just going to save that as a material preset. That's going to be suede black. That should be good to go. You know what? I think I'm going to do a pink version too. I think I'm gonna leave these. No, we're gonna make pink heels too. We'll do the pink heels. Let's do that. All right. Plain leather. We're gonna duplicate that. We're gonna come in here and we're gonna make it pink. So I'm gonna crank that saturation all the way up. Take that lightness. Drag you back to, let's put you at 0.5 to start with, and yours kind of orange. Do I want my right in there? And then we'll just crank that like so. Probably good. The commands won't work with YouTube. Probably not, no. Yeah, I think the commands are tied to Twitch roles. I think that's what the reason is. Well then, in that case, we're forcing Art to log into Twitch, much to his dismay. All right, there's the pink. I'm going to tweak those heel colors a little bit. I don't like that. I may not be able to. Can I? If I change you to regular, that might do the trick. Maybe like that, and then maybe. Still looking a little orange. Do I want to just. That's better. I like that. Okay. And I'm going to leave that as a brass. I like the brass with the pink. Export that. Alrighty. Back over to the export folder. Call that pink. Call that pink. Grab. All right, we're going to put these into the directory they belong. There's the boots. There's the outfit. If you ever wanted to have a cat fridge, Sandrel has one that's an advent for you today over at Shards. Oh, nice. Because I'm going to get up and fix you some dinner. Hey, catch you later, Charles. Thanks for being here, man. Hey, Art, does that CS command work for you on Twitch now? Just checking. All right, what do we got? We got the boots selected, so let's go get the pink boots and put that into the base color. And then let's put the pink outfit into the base color and save the pink. There we go. Boop. Material preset. There we go. That sounded like it worked. Pink. There we are. Uh-oh. Accept that. All right, the pink one is saved. Let me do a little bit of work on... These are good. I'm going to drop a velvet in here. Velvet. Which one do I want? I like this red velvet a lot. Although the shade's a little off. But it does really cool stuff for velvet. I'm gonna just drag this down into here. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna tweak the it tends to be a little orangey. I'm gonna shift that a little. So I need to put a filter right there. That's gonna be the good old hue, saturation, and lightness. I'm gonna just crank that up all the way. And I'm just gonna push you back that way just a hair. Take that saturation down a little bit. I'm liking that. I'm going to do that. But I'm going to hide the flare. I'm not going to use flare with this layer. I'm going to try to use... I'm going to save this. I'm going to open up another... I have to try to remember what that font was I was using. And I may not figure that out before it's time to call it a day. It's a little faster for me to kind of... Oh, there it is, right there. Alphabet of the Magi. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay. Excellent. Found it. That didn't take too long. I'm going to try to put Alphabet of the Magi in the trim here, along here. Same thing here and here, and maybe along the boot. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to do that. We're going to come over here. I'm going to use text. Text align right, text center. I want text align, I think, left. And then what I want to do is, let's see how this goes. Actually, I think I'm going to start at the back and work my way around. So I'm going to come around through here. And we'll bring that back through there. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to have to add some. And how do I add a font? Alphabet of the Magi. Yay. There it is. All right, I just need to add, you know what? We're just going to do, we're just going to go on the web and look for Lorem Ipsum generator. And we'll come over here. And you know what? We'll just maybe grab some of this and put that in there. And we'll just delete stuff until its sizing's about right. Kind of like that, maybe. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. All right, how do I set this up? So we want color, we want height, we want roughness, we want metal, and we want normal. So color, so for this, we're going to lean into a gold. For height, I just actually want to pop that up like that. Yeah, baby. You know what? I'm going to put a height to normal on here. So roughness, I do want that to be kind of oddly shiny. And I do want it to be kind of metallic. So I'm going to take you up into there. And I'm going to do that with it. I think that's good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a filter on here that'll convert the height to a normal. Height to normal, like that. Okay, and then we're just going to add another one in here. I think I have to do that as a separate because it's going to use the same text otherwise, right? So actually, you know what? Can I just do... No, I think I can just do this. And then I'm going to start at the back and work our way around. All right, we're going to put a corner piece in there. I can't see. I want that sharp corner. Okay, backed around. Sharp corner. Oh no. You need to be round. And then smooth. Sharp. Smooth. Sharp. Smooth. I'm going to have to put more text in here. Sharp. And back to smooth. And we're going to end it right there. All right, let's get some more text into this. Thanks. I'm happy with how that's working out. Control V. All right, is that, you know, that's going to work. That's a good size. Okay. And you know, with that, it's a 4 o'clock. This is going in the right direction. I still have to do a band of symbols around there, and I'm going to put a teeny one around here. And I'm also going to add some here. So this is heading in the right direction. Like your underwear, they used to have BVD and now they say Boulevard. Looking good. All right. Let's hit save on this and call it a day. Thank you all for being here. Um, let's just take a quick render of how this is looking. I should save you. File, save as scene. Yep, those are the projects. Dum, 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 dum. What am I doing? I'm doing, you're still in dresses. Here, dresses. Fringe dress and the whip folder, and you're actually Frontier outfit. Here, we'll do a little render here, and we'll look for somebody to raid. Thank you all for being here. Often on Saturdays, I would raid Taddy Bidet. But Taddy's not feeling well today, so he's not streaming. So we're hoping our good friend Taddy is feeling better sooner than later. Thank you for being here, Charles, as always. Oh, yeah. I'm happy with how that's looking. It looks awful suede-y. It's getting there. It's getting there. I still have to do special textures. So I'm going to have a set of textures with this, with just like the rivets, and then we're going to do the magic ones, which are velvets with the arcane runes on them. So those are going to be the two, and then I still have to do the dirty versions. And so this is coming along nicely. Hey, if anybody's still on YouTube, like and subscribe. That would be awesome. If you're on Twitch, feel free to stick around and join the raid. Art, it was a pleasure seeing you today. I think we saw Lund was in the house a little earlier. Always a pleasure seeing our good friend Lund. I'm thinking there was somebody else. 3D Loki was in the house. Our good friend Loki. Hey, you got too much money? Buy Loki's stuff. You don't have too much money? Still buy Loki's stuff. Buy Loki's stuff. Cool cat. Oh, Bluxosaurus Rex was in the house, aka DJ Stulu. Follow my friend DJ Stulu. DJ Stulu. There you go. And let's see who's on Twitch. And if you're on Twitch, stick around and we're going to go raid somebody. Let's see. Where is my Twitch? Where's the Twitch when you need it? There it is, all the way down there. Let's bring that over there. Bring this over here. Yep, that's you. Too much money? Still buy Loki. Loki stuff. I hear myself in the background. All right, I'm scrolling to the bottom and we're working our way up. Sally Quinn Creations, that might be. I haven't rated Sally in real recent memory. I'm still going down to the bottom though. And are we at the bottom? We're at the bottom. All right, now I'm going to roll my way back up and see if there's somebody who we might want to say hi to, not named Sally Quinn Creations. I'm seeing if there's any of the immediate art friends. I'm not seeing any of the immediate art friends. So, art friend adjacent, Sally Quinn it is. There we go. She's doing art today. What is she doing? She does body painting and she does paintings. Looks like she's doing a dog portrait today. So let's go over and say hi to her. Super cool cat. Let's do this. And also, it is Saturday, so we will be back tonight at 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social. It's an art chair. It's a Discord chat. It's an old cartoon. Also, our good friend 3D Loki does have another giveaway. Check it out in the gallery. So feel free to pop in then. And I see DZ also posted a bunch of stuff. Our good friend D Zhang, a mighty fine artist. Let's hey, buy my stuff at Daz. Hey, feel free to join my Discord. Hey, if you can join the raid and you're not a subscriber, you get to use this raid call. If you are a subscriber, you can use the sub raid call. We'll do that. And let me start this raid and we'll go over and say hi to Sally Quinn. Control C, let's do that. Control V. Raid has been started. All right, thank you all for being here. If I don't see you tonight, I hope you have a good rest of a Saturday or Sunday if you're on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.